Welcome to On the School Bus with Dr. Spates, the podcast dedicated to advancing creativity and innovation in education. Each week, we invite educators, innovators, and creatives from across the country doing the real work in schools to hop on the school bus with me, Dr. Spates. Together, we explore what's working. Whether you lead from an office, a classroom, or anywhere in between, this podcast is your vehicle for creative ideas, bold leadership, and strategies that have been put to the test where it counts in schools. Because our children, families, caregivers, and communities are counting on us to equip the next generation for success. Let's go. Hello, everyone. I've been dreaming about this for a while, and I finally decided to give it a go. I'm starting a podcast. It may bomb, but I'm going for it anyway, because two of my strengths are operating in courage, not the absence of fear, operating in courage, and a passion for serving others, especially children. I'm on a mission to continually learn how to serve our nation's children, families, and communities better because the truth is they're counting on us, educators, to lead with urgency, care, and purpose. As a middle school principal serving students in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade in Los Angeles County, California, every day I'm asking, how can I serve and support my school community better? How can I nurture my colleagues who are doing the most important work in the classroom and those providing essential support to our school community? How do we create an environment and a culture where we do not have to suspend children and they look forward to attending school every day? How do we build positive relationships with our colleagues, students, and their caregivers? How do we manage the politics within our system that can sometimes impede student success? How do we get all students to school each day and address our chronic absentee rates? How do you plan a fun media day? How do we ensure we are providing excellent support for our students with individualized education plans, individualized gate plans, our gifted second language learners? There's so much expertise in the world. We do not have to figure this out by ourselves. And I happen to love learning, especially from folks, the ones with boots, sneaks, or heels on the ground out there doing or having done the real work and are out here making a real impact in our nation's schools. In this podcast is my next step to find answers to those questions and many more that I'm sure are circulating in your head and mine. Not only will I be taking all the notes, I want to share their genius with you. So I welcome you to On the School Bus with Dr. Spates, a podcast dedicated to advancing creativity and innovation in education through the power of collaboration. Each episode features remarkable educators, innovators, and creatives doing the real work to change students' lives. I'll be asking guests to share their expertise, bold ideas, and lived experiences to spark new ways of thinking and leading. My hope is that I can tap into each guest's zone of genius to leave you with one practical schools-tested strategy you can bring back to your learning community. This isn't just a conversation. It's what I hope it will become, a collaboration in motion. Whether you lead from an office, a classroom, or anywhere in between, this podcast is your vehicle for creative ideas, bold leadership, and strategies that have been put to the test where it counts in our nation's schools. Because again, our children, their caregivers, families, and communities are counting on us, educators, to equip the next generation for success. Now, whether we are intentional or not, we lead with who we are, whether we are in touch with that, and hopefully we continually work to be reflective to mitigate those parts of who we are that may cause unintended harm or bias towards the people we serve. So here's a little bit of who I am, because that will definitely shape this podcast. And I hope some pieces resonate with you and you'll come back to listen at another episode. So my maternal grandmother, very classy woman, she had my mom when she was 16. My maternal grandfather, he served in the military and attended a university. My paternal grandmother, she was a hardworking and loving woman who raised 6 children. My parents, they attended Western Michigan University for their undergraduate work and the University of Illinois Champaign-Urbana and earned their PhDs, and that's where I happen to be born. I come from a family of educators. My mom recently retired as Chancellor Emeritus at State Center Community College District in Fresno. My father, my stepfather, he retired from West Valley Mission Community College District as a chancellor. My dad, he is a retired professor, emeritus professor. He would want me to get that right, from Western Michigan University. I grew up in a blended family with step parents. My stepmother, because culture and identity is important to me, she is Ethiopian. I grew up in a culturally rich environment. My father's later wife, she is from Japan. So my children grew up with a grandmother who taught them a little bit of Japanese, and they got to enjoy Japanese culture. My stepfather is amazing. I got to grow up with two dads, essentially. I understand what that looks like for our children. I grew up and attended schools in Michigan, Nevada, the East Bay in Northern California, and graduated from high school in the Central Valley in Lemoore. Some of these experiences were positive, and others were not. But I have to say that my most rewarding, the area where I grew so much, was having had the opportunity to graduate from Lemoore High School. It was absolutely phenomenal and foundation to my growth and development. It was absolutely amazing. In high school, ASB, that was my sport. I decided from that time, my involvement also with the California Association of Student Councils, I wanted to study public policy and attended CSU Sacramento, earning a degree in government. But during that time, fell in love with AmeriCorps and did two full-time years as a full-time AmeriCorps member serving Summer Bridge National, which is now named Breakthrough Collaborative. I'm an entrepreneur. There have been parts of my educational, professional journey where I've started businesses to fulfill my inner creative because I didn't perceive there being space in a professional school setting for me to be creative. Before committing to teaching, I actually started a company teaching students leadership skills, working with their student government organizations, getting them ready for the year. In 2002, after graduating, I committed to learning to become a middle school teacher and earned my master's degree and credential from Mills College. I am a veteran teacher, even though I currently sit in the role as a principal, and I've been an educator for 24 years. I earned my doctorate in K-12 leadership at the University of Southern California, go Trojans, and truly appreciated the focus on equity in urban schools. I'm a lifelong learner. I am a passionate educator. I go hard in the paint for children and the adults who support them. And I have a deep understanding because of my experience growing up in schools that children are not bad. They have things on their heart and on their mind that may cause them to make bad decisions, and they're babies and they're still processing. I am a creative and I enjoy thinking outside of the box to respond to the needs of the communities I get to serve. And I believe there are levels to know. My bosses laugh at me. I'm always judging, is that a hard no? Or can I circle back and come back to that question one more time? Because our kids and the adults who support them are worth it. I believe in the power of positivity. I'm determined to learn how to serve my community better because in California, if we look at the 23-24 CASP data, in ELA, 47.04% of our students met or exceeded the English language arts standards. That means 52.96% did not. And in math, 35.54% of our students met the standard, which means 64.6% did not. We see a decline in students attending universities. We know that as the enrollment cliff. Yet, there are amazing things happening in schools and in school systems. Folks in schools are busy doing the real work with children. Our communities aren't aware of the amazing things taking place in our schools. I am excited to spotlight individuals in schools taking risks and doing innovative work that is getting results for our nation's children. We cannot do this work alone. We need one another. When we share practices and highlight practices, we all have the opportunity to level up for our children together. Each week, I invite you to get on the school bus with Dr. Spates. And isn't this a beautiful school bus? Together, let's reimagine what's possible for our children. This podcast is exclusively for passionate TK through 12 school leaders who are committed to improving student outcomes and transforming student school experiences. Together, we explore what's working because if you really think about the data, so much is actually working in schools. And again, our children, families, and communities are counting on us to lead with urgency, care, and purpose. Thank you.